All right, let's open. Father, Mother, God, Source Spirit, Creator of all that is. Thank you for bringing us together, giving us this great opportunity to teach, practice, and learn awakening dynamics. Thank you, and namaste. All right, welcome everyone. Got a little lesson prepared for today, which I think you'll like. It's more along the lines of maybe you want to dig on this, because I think it's really useful. So one of the things that we covered in the level 2, the Master Healer Intensive, is the looking for what we call vows, oaths, contracts, obligations, stuff like that. And this is mainly useful when you find stuff and it should be shifting, but it's not, right? And so what we taught you was, if you have a belief and it's really sticky, you've done the obvious stuff, right? Checked it's allowed, it's possible, how would it feels like, live without it, all that, and it's still there, you're like, right? Terry's thing was she would say 1, 2, 3, it's a vow. So you try one thing, it doesn't go. You try another thing, it doesn't go. You try another thing, it doesn't go. Maybe it's a vow. And the most obvious targets for this would be other people. You all know it's part of the relationship clearing protocol, right? But it doesn't stop with people. Certainly, a lot of us have vows, obligations, contracts to different entities. Maybe they're companies or religions or philosophies or governments or things like that, right? More non-tangible. The one I wanted to call out and encourage you to work on, if not today, then sometime, is obligations to time, which is sort of a specific piece of more generally obligations to the laws of the universe. And so the time one I think is really worth looking at because time is a big thing in our lives, isn't it? It's something we think about, worry about, plan for how many times a day? I mean, seriously, right? Almost constantly. And I think it was Michael Brown in the presence process. Correct me if I'm off on the attribution. I loved one of his models for the ego, which was he would say that you can see how much someone is consumed in the ego by how much they're living in time versus living in timelessness. Because with presence, there is an awareness of time, but we're not worried about it. We're not conserving it. We're not managing it. You're just present. Does that make sense? And that's one of the things about being biological is we are affected by time, huh? If you're an angelic being living on the astral plane, you can sit and have, angelic being astral plane coffee with your buddies and sit and chat for weeks. You never get tired. You never have to go to the bathroom, right? Things like that. But biologically, we're very much at the effect of time almost always. So I just think that's an interesting way to look at it. That the more present you are, the more connected to your truth, the less you're caught up in time. And so the thing I would encourage everyone to look at, if you haven't before, I think it's a great topic, is go in and identify and maybe do some work on these obligations we have to time. If we look at very wealthy people towards the end of their lives, many of them will say things like, I wish I hadn't spent so much time just making money, because time is sort of the ultimate rare commodity that no matter how rich you are, how beautiful you are, how popular you are, that doesn't always translate in your ability to buy time now, does it? Anyway, in music, they have anyone familiar with what's called the curse of 27? That there's all sorts of incredible genius musicians who die at 27. Jimi Hendrix was a good example. Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse. The list goes on and on. Google it if you're curious, right? Just examples of people that had an abundance of talent, of money, of fame, of support, of love. And they didn't have a lot of this time. And I think you might be surprised at how much really powerful stuff you'll find. Because, as long as you've been physical, you've had a relationship with time. And, time is an interesting thing because it is it Kali in Hinduism, that's the creator and the destroyer. Some of you may know better than me. I think that's it. That's time. That given enough time, everything is healed, huh? Every pain, every disease, every tragedy, time will ultimately erase it. But the same is true of the good stuff. Time will ultimately take out everything. What Carl Wolf would say, it's a little bit of a downer, but I think there's a lot of wisdom. He would say, if you live long enough, everyone and everything that you love will disappear from your life. But at the same time, time is also the ultimate healer. Any pain, any tragedy, any trauma, eventually time will erase that too. So I would encourage everyone, if you haven't done so already, of course, as always, if you have something else you want to dig on today, do whatever you like in the breakouts, right? But if you don't do it today, I'd encourage you to spend some time in this at some point. And as with a lot of this stuff, this may not be a big thing for you. You may check it, and there's one or two little things, and you clear it, and you're off with your life. Cool. For others, this may go a lot deeper than you had imagined. I found a whole lot of stuff with time. It was one of the things I worked on with Terry a lot, was relationships to time. And if time isn't the right one for you, if that's not giving you a lot of value, you can always expand. Look at the other laws in the universe. You might have obligations, contracts to gravity, to electromagnetism, to the law of attraction, to cause and effect, right? So, there's a deep rabbit hole there if you want to explore it. Any questions? Any shares? Go for it. Otherwise, we'll give you some breakout rooms and let you go nuts. Don't everyone go all at once? All right, cool. Let's do it. We'll I'll try to call you guys back about 5 to 7 so we have time to share. And as always, I'm going to try to be here as much as I can, but we got a lot of stuff going on right now with problems in our home. If I don't get back to you guys within 30 seconds, text or call me on my cell phone. I'll be right down. Cool. All right, let's turn off the recording. Bye, prosperity. I'll see you in the future. Or not.